Yo, what is going on, guys? SCJ here, back with another video, and today I wanted to talk about something that's not really a relevant or current topic at the moment, but might be interesting to look back on when the draft happens in a few months, and that's why we see certain great or legendary college basketball players fail or become unable to succeed or be anything more than just a rotation player once they arrive in the NBA. So recently, I was thinking about two of the more recent North Carolina Tar Heels, Marcus Paige and Bryce Johnson, and I was wondering what NBA teams that they were currently on if they were in fact in the league. And just how a guy like Johnson was a former first rounder and averaged a double-double as well as over 1 steal and over 1 block in his senior season, just can't seem to at least grab a bench spot in the league. Neither Paige nor Johnson are currently in the league, and it just goes to show you how much different succeeding on the college level opposed to the NBA level really is. I don't really want to focus on those two guys, but since I can use them as a segue into my first point, I might as well. That point is the difference in players or opposing players from college to the NBA. This might be an obvious one, but when you look at someone like Bryce Johnson, who's got a body frame more on the thin side, he's going to struggle when going up against most of the superior sized and more physical centers or big men that inhabit the NBA today. Bryce Johnson is a tremendous athlete, but having more athleticism than the guy you're matching up against doesn't always mean you're going to win that matchup, especially with guys at the center or power forward spot. This is kind of the same deal with Marcus Paige as well. His scoring deteriorated even during his time at Carolina, and he only measures in at just 6 feet, which is considered undersized for one of the guard positions in the NBA. Other college players who were anomalies and way better or more dominant than Paige and Johnson, such as Christian Laettner and Tyler Hansborough, also dealt with similar issues to the first set of guys that I named. Laettner and Hansborough's size and strength allowed them to get pretty much anything they wanted, and both of those guys were unstoppable down in the post, which is where they got most of their success from. Laettner had to deal with the physicality of the NBA in the 90s, and Hansborough had to deal with bigger, stronger, and more dominant forwards on a night-to-night basis when he reached the NBA. When you're facing 18 to 22-year-olds who still aren't fully developed in terms of their body and size, things are going to be easy for you. But when you have to face grown men who have size, experience, and or more talent than you, you are not going to be getting the same results. Next is one-dimensionalism. Using BYU legend Jimmer Fredette as an example, he was like Steph Curry before Steph Curry when he was at Brigham Young University. In his senior season, even though he was attempting 8.5 threes a game, Fredette was able to knock down nearly 3.5 a game, coming in at 3.4 three-pointers a game. But then, once he got to the NBA, things became a different story. Not only were players in the NBA better defenders or more athletic than the guys that Jimmer Fredette faced at BYU, but his own flaws began to show while he was a member of the Sacramento Kings. Fredette's lack of athleticism, mediocre ball handling, and terrible defense was major turnoffs to the Kings organization. Things got so bad that the 60th pick of the 2011 NBA draft, Isaiah Thomas, beat him out for the starting point guard spot, while Jimmer Fredette was the 10th pick of the 2011 draft. It sucks to see such a fan favorite like Jimmer Fredette have his level of production take a complete nosedive, but only excelling in one area isn't enough to get you a job in the NBA, even in today's game where the three-point shot is one of the most important skills for a player to have. Next, let's touch on your ability to beat your defender. One example of a guy who was looked at as a guarantee to be a great pro was Adam Morrison. Morrison was a great scorer, shooter, and rebounder while at Gonzaga, but once he entered the NBA as a member of the Bobcats, similar to what Jimmer Fredette went through, his flaws were just too big and too apparent to allow him to dominate. Morrison absolutely struggled on the perimeter and in the paint. He lacked the lateral quickness and speed, so he was unable to beat his defender out on the perimeter or finish over more physical and dominant big men under the basket. Many college players can get away with lacking a trait, and in Morrison's case, speed, but once you get to the pros, you're going to get exposed when you have to face experienced and more talented players and defenders, especially when you're a forward and having to face guys like KD and LeBron multiple times a year. Lastly, let's talk about your ability to translate your game to the NBA. Many players get to the pros and expect to immediately contribute and translate or even be a starter. And when one or both of those things don't happen for a player, some guys just can't adjust. Psychologically, their struggles can affect them, and after being able to dominate and succeed from the time they started playing basketball through college, but then struggling once they reach the NBA, it has an effect on them totally. There's simply put some guys that can just take a year or a few years to develop or come into their own. Two guys I can give examples for that are De'Aaron Fox and Brandon Ingram. Fox went from scoring 11.6 points per game on 41% shooting to now scoring 21.1 points per game on 48% shooting in just his third year. Fox had a rough rookie year and was one of the guys that I actually put next to Jason Tatum as a guy that I felt would be the best player in the 2017 draft. But after a rough rookie season, I felt like I was definitely wrong. But Fox picked up things in his second season with the Kings and now has turned into a great point guard. Now, looking at Ingram, he just came off a 2019-20 season where he won the Most Improved Player award in his fourth year and finally looks like the Brandon Ingram many thought he'd be coming out of Duke. After only averaging 9.4 points per game as a rookie, he got his scoring average up to 23.8 this past season. That right there shows you an example of patience and hard work, and it shows how it might just take some time for you to adjust or translate your game to the next level. However, many players just aren't patient enough to wait and see results translate to the NBA, where they simply put just aren't able to translate their game in general, and that's exactly why so many players carry the label of being a bust once they enter the NBA. So while it sucks to watch certain players or just any player who carries the label of being a bust gain that title, it simply put is just a reality that comes when a great college player can never perform the way he did in college once they make it to the league. So yeah guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope this video was informative or helpful to anybody wondering why some great college players just can't seem to succeed on the NBA level. Let me know down below though if you guys think I missed a reason as to why a great college player fails on the NBA level, or just anything related to NBA busts, like you guys never saw a certain guy being a bust, or you see some guys in the 2020 draft that you feel are going to be a bust. But yeah guys, if you like this video, then give it a like, and if you want to see more NBA content like this video or my other videos, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Anyway though guys, I'm SCJ and I am out. Peace.